Hey everybody, welcome back. Just wanted to emphasize on the importance of having your own food, being able to produce your own food if you're able to. I know not everybody lives in a place where they can have a garden going and things like that. But if you are able to, if you have the space, even if you're in an apartment and you can put some plant pots in the window, something just to get into the habit of it, even if it's just herbs and spices, which is actually what prompted this particular video, and I'll get into that in a second. If you're able to do it, now's the time. Don't wait any longer, as food not only becomes more expensive, but continues to become more contaminated. Now recently, Consumer Reports, so please do look this up for yourself. You know who Consumer Reports is, I'm sure a lot of you do. Tested spices, for herbs and spices from just regular supermarkets, several brands of like the most common spices: pepper, paprika, chili powder, garlic powder, turmeric, whatever
turmeric.
it is.
I always call it turmeric.
Yeah.
Turmeric.
Is it turmeric?
Turmeric.
I do that too. Whatever it is you use to garnish and embellish your foods, pretty much the entire spectrum of regular retail brands is heavily contaminated with heavy metals, well beyond the spectrum of what is technically allowed by, say, the FDA. And by heavy metals, of course, we mean lead, arsenic, mercury, stuff that should not be in food anyways, heavily contaminated, with the exception of like domestically grown organic herbs and spices are the best examples, but even those have some contamination. So why is that happening? Well, it's happening because of how it's being grown. Almost everything that we're eating, when you go to the supermarket, or you go to Walmart, or wherever you're doing your grocery shopping, I don't know, is coming off of industrialized farms. Heavily industrialized or incorporated or co-opted farms that use a lot of pesticides, that use a lot of other things to force the plants to grow more rapidly, hormones. They crop dust. They don't rotate crops anymore. They dust them with nutrients to put nutrients back into the soil. You used to rotate crops so that, one plant would pull all of something out and then the other plant would put something back in as it took out, and you had a healthy rotation. That's how true farming is done. These industrial farms don't do that. So they have to dust, and it puts a lot of heavy metals and other contaminants into the food supply, because of course, while the plants absorb their nutrients, they absorb a lot of other things too, things that probably shouldn't be in the plant that we're eating. We're eating and contaminating our bodies, and it causes a lot of problems, especially with younger people. And there's been a lot of incidences in recent years of much younger children having medical conditions attributed to mercury and lead and arsenic and other things that shouldn't be in their systems at all, but they're eating it with regular food. And you already know, if you grow your own food or you eat organic foods, you know the difference when you bite into a tomato or eat lettuce or anything. If you get like the industrial farm stuff from the supermarket, the cheap stuff, it tastes like water. It tastes like tap water. There's no flavor at all. And it's oversized, it's huge and mutated looking, but this is what most people are eating on a regular basis, and it's unhealthy. And now apparently, as was pointed out by Consumer Reports, even the spices aren't safe from all of this. It's truly frightening, the direction that we're going in. Plus, they're trying to shut a lot of farms down and incorporate them further. A lot of you have seen how much farmland Bill Gates has bought up. like we really trust that guy and what he's going to do with it. The crops are too codependent, modern crops. Anybody work on a farm? If you leave those crops unattended for a week, they'll all die. They're not hardy plants at all because they've been conditioned to rely heavily on pesticides and nutrients being dumped on them and hormone and everything else that they do to these plants to force the mass production. And then they throw half of it away. And that's a whole nother argument, a big pet peeve of mine, how much food, nearly half, and that not just in the US, but globally, nearly half of the food is thrown away, either before it goes to market or by the supermarkets, because if it's not flawless looking, nobody's going to buy it because people are too picky. They're too selfish about it. But again, that's, like I said, a whole nother topic of discussion. And don't think that this is just limited to vegetation, because I'm sure a lot of you are aware that any poultry, pork, beef, anything like that that's coming off of one of these big farms isn't really very safe or clean either.
Yeah, you know how I feel about Bill Gates. I mean, he's doing a lot of things. He's already talked about depopulation.
Yeah.
And then
this is a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Poison the food even further.
Poison the food and you'll catch more people.
Yeah.
Because you might not catch a lot with your routine V word.
Yeah.
Right.
And by the way, all those heavy metals will affect your reproductive capacity.
Yeah, and they've already linked that a lot of the heavy metals are causing more different kinds of cancer, more cancer.
Yeah.
They're finding a lot in little children, like 1 year old and up. I saw a report about a baby, 1 year old baby had high levels of lead, and it's because whatever
the spices in their food, their bodies can't absorb it as well as we can.
Yeah, so again, you know, we put out a video recently about us growing our own foods.
Yeah.
And we do our raised garden, and we practically make the dirt ourselves with things in the yard, and we let it decompose. I mean, you know, those are steps you have to take, but they're actually the way it was supposed to be anyway. That was the intent. We were supposed to grow our own foods. And again, we understand...
First order of business, biblically speaking, tend the garden.
Yeah, and I understand, and I'm not knocking anybody that can't do it. But that's what we're supposed to do, at least go to a co-op. And because we've met people in a co-op, we visited a co-op farm where they grow the stuff and then they exchange it. I worked with a guy. You take your produce to the market. I think they held it once a month. And then you don't buy, you exchange.
Yeah.
So you might have fruits. This other person have vegetables, and you exchange it. And that's how that co-op, I don't know how all of them work, but that one, that's how it worked. So, I mean, you got to find ways to keep yourself healthy, because the government is all about weeding people out, and this is a good way. You know, you get your V word, that'll catch some, the food will catch others. Yeah. You know, so.
Because people aren't going to stop eating.
Yeah.
You can say, I'm not doing this, but you're not going to stop eating. And for many people, they don't have the resources to be able to afford the better quality food.
Yeah.
Which is why they want you to eat bugs. And don't think that that'll be safe either.
Yeah, because they're going to grow those bugs in a farm.
Yeah, they'll be farmed, and they'll eat garbage, and they'll absorb whatever they're eating, and that'll make you sick too.
Yeah.
You know, all these high-end celebrities are sitting endorsing. I guarantee you they don't eat like that, okay?
Yeah. And they didn't get stuck either.
No. But I just wanted to throw that out there. Again, it's Consumer Reports. Look it up for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. But it really, again, emphasizes how important it is to try to do it yourself if you have the capacity to do so. Thoughts about that? And watch out at the end of the video for the link to the seed packs, because that company sent us seeds, and we are experimenting with those, and we'll be showing our results. So they're organic seeds for preppers, and so it might be worth taking a look at. Thoughts? Let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. Please do give the video a thumbs up if you're getting anything out of that. We hope that you are. Share it if you can, probably the only way it will get seen, because ScrewTube doesn't like channels like this. Subscribe if you're new, all that good stuff. If you saw random cat images and you're like, what the hell is the deal with that? If you're new to the channel, they are strays that my wife and I take care of, and images of them in the video actually help with the loading algorithm, believe it or not. If you'd like to help the channel out, or the stray cats for that matter, there are links for that down below. Every little bit helps, and we sure do appreciate it. And if that's it, then what more can we say but stay frosty, folks, and thanks for watching.